Come on out. All right, we got it. It looks good. Got the right amount of fall. I am happy with that. Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So today is day 2 of building a couple new sheds here on the property. So I've got Henry and the guys from Clark County Construction. They showed up this morning. They finished the headers on the pole barn and they are now ready to be able to put up the trusses. So they just got a skid steer with a really long boom on it to be able to lift these trusses in the air. You see they got a tag line tied to this corner so that it can help turn the truss so he can maneuver it through here. I think this truss is actually going to go all the way on this other end. Yeah, generator running, so it's a little louder on this side. All right, first truss is landed. That was probably one of the more difficult ones. So it's not even 11 in the morning and they've got all the trusses on the barn. It's really taking shape now. So the header they put up on the barn, it's actually bigger than I thought it was gonna be. It's got one on the outside. They actually did 2 on the inside. So it's a triple, a 2x12 header going all the way down the barn. The reason they did that is because of the post spacing being 12 feet apart. They needed that extra support to support these 2 trusses in between the posts. It's probably gonna be hard to see, but in between the 2x12s, they did put another board inside that sticks up so that it can attach the side of the trusses to it. So every one of these trusses is attached to a vertical board, you know, inside of here. So, and then they're attached, of course, to each other with the purlins going across the roof. So it looks like the next thing you're gonna be working on is putting on the rest of the purlins on the roof. They've only got like 3 on there right now. Looks like, I'm gonna guess they're gonna be about 2 feet apart as they go down the roof. And of course, they go the full length of the roof. And then that's what the metal roofing is gonna attach to. Well, it's the next day now. And I think, yeah, this is like day 3 on the build. We had another delivery truck show up today. And I believe they unloaded the metal for the buildings. And right now, they've already started putting on the roof. And they're almost halfway done on this side. It's going quick. All right, it's 1:30 in the afternoon, and they just finished up the livestock barn, and they got mostly everything picked up right now. I think there's just one more thing they got to pick up, and the barn looks good. I'm very happy with it. This is gonna make, it's already like standing under this in the shade with the breeze blowing through. Oh, it felt pretty good under there actually. And now they got done just in time. I think there's some storms. We got some storms rolling by. But right now they're moving all their equipment. They are moving it over to the other build site. And I don't know if they're gonna start on that today. I think they're gonna start on that Monday. But yeah, the livestock barn's done. Since this is a pavilion, it doesn't have the walls on it, so it's actually not quite as sturdy as a barn. When you put that metal on there, that really just stiffens everything up, keeps it from, you know, moving in the wind. So they put some extra bracing in here. So you can see we got some 2x6s off of the posts here that are going up, and that is on every post all the way around. So that's gonna help brace it side to side in each direction. And then in the roof itself, they add a bunch of bracing in these trusses. It's really hard probably for me to show you, but you can see this brace right here, this is on the bottom of the truss, and this one's on the bottom of the truss. That one there is on the bottom of the truss. They've got all this extra bracing in here tying the roof together. And then over here in this corner, you can see that one's actually on the bottom side of the top of the truss. It's like right under the roof. So they have some along the top, they have some here along the bottom. It's been braced in just several directions. So I think they've done a good job to try to sturdy it up as much as possible. I do plan to come back, I don't know when, but I do plan to come back and put this side. I want to make this side solid. This is the west facing side. This is where we get most of our weather. So I do plan on covering this up, and that will stiffen it up even more when I do it. And Henry ended up leaving, he put a different type of trim right here on the bottom. I don't know if it's a Z trim or what they call it, but when I add metal to it, it's already trimmed out for me to just take the new metal and slide it right up under that trim and then cover this side. So he set me up for me to continue on this build later on. Now I also plan on covering the east side as well. So east and west side will be completely covered. And then I think my plans here is I will cover this square and I will cover this square, and I'll still leave it open in the middle for the breeze to be able to go through. And then the south side will be fully open. So I still want a breeze to be able to flow through there and be fairly comfortable in the summertime, since this is when we're mostly going to use it. Now the reason I wanted this all built with 12-foot post spacing, well, one, it's going to be easier to get the tractor like in and out if I need to clean out this barn. But the other reason is with the 12-foot post spacing, I could possibly put a gate on here if I wanted to, and have a gate, or I've got those corral panels, those temporary panels that fit together. They're 12 foot long, and I might be able to put like corral panels between these posts and like section off a piece of the barn. So I might be able to use those corral panels to build pens, or just to section off a side for the sheep and a different side for the cattle, and be able to separate them from each other. I think it's going to give me some flexibility. I don't have to do anything. I can just leave it open. But I think with that, everything being spaced 12 feet apart, I think that does give me a lot of options on being able to build out pens and do different things on the inside. So it does look like we may end up getting a little bit of rain here in a minute. We've heard some thunder in the background, but I want to be able to move the cattle out here. I don't know if I'll do it tonight. We may do it tomorrow. So it only rained for about an hour. So me and Rebecca, we are back out here and we're going to start setting up some temporary fence. So we're going to run from this livestock shelter. We're just basically going to give them a strip straight down to the end of the pasture. And then we're going to, since we don't have water out here, we're going to go ahead and leave them a trail. We're going to fence in like a trail back to the winter pasture where they can get water. And at least they can come out here and graze now instead of having to eat hay. All right, we got all of our temporary fence set up. So we do have a way to get out there to the center, and then we got a paddock on the other side that they can graze. So we'll go ahead and open them up and let them explore their new area. Come on out. Come on out. Well, they didn't make it very far. I think they were just happy to get back on grass. They're just all out here, just a few feet out the gate. They're all just eating right along this temporary electric fence here. I'm sure if we give them a little bit of time, they'll wander farther and farther out here as it gets cooler this evening. That's our newest little calf right there, our little bull calf. Rebecca named him. What's his name?
Opie.
Opie. Yeah, Rebecca went all Andy Griffith and ended up naming him with an O, like Oliver.
Yep, Opie.
Opie. So I set up a few corral panels out here so I can block off the white barn. That way I can work on that side in there and I don't have to worry about the cattle getting out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little work in on this drainage project, get the pipe out of the ground. So the trench the drainage pipe is in is still a little bit too deep. We actually need to fill it in and bring it up a little bit higher. So I've got some more fill material. So we'll just grab the tractor and we'll bring a few buckets in here. Maybe 2 or 3 buckets we'll put in here and we'll spread it out. And I'm shooting for like building it up another maybe 3-4 inches. And I think we'll be real close on having about the right height. Well, I don't think that looks too bad. So let's go see if we can dig out the compactor out of the other barn. Well, the compactor's buried in here, but the wasps have built a nest on this ladder. So there was at least 8 or 9 wasps there. All right, this feels a lot better. I went over it. I probably went back and forth a total of 10 times. Tried to pack it down as best I can. I think this will work. All right, that looks good out here. We got the right amount of fall for it to drain. All right, we got it. It looks good. Got the right amount of fall. I am happy with that. So if we look here at the west end of the pipe, the gutter connection is just clearing the metal siding here, and it is almost exactly below where I can extend this down right inside of there. Now, the little drain to drain the ground, look down at it, it's barely sticking out. I may extend that just a little bit and make that come out a little bit further so it's not right up against the building. Other than that, I think everything really looks good. I think we're to the point where we can probably start to glue this together and start backfilling over this pipe, but I'm not going to do that tonight. So the sheep and the cattle, they're out here in this area that we gave them. See, it's getting ready, the sun's getting ready to set. And the sun's actually not very bright right now. It's been hazy all day long, and we finally got some of that smoke from the Canadian wildfires, and you could see it in the air. It just kind of looked like almost like a weird blue haze in the air all day long. And you can definitely tell the lower the sun gets, you can see how much dimmer it gets because of that smoke in the air. We're pretty far from Canada. I'm surprised it actually got this far south. But yeah, the cattle and the sheep are out here in this area that we paddocked off, that we gave them, and they're getting grazed down pretty good. So I'm gonna give them one more day out here, and then we're gonna move them to the next spot. But when they first came out here and they got to the new livestock shelter, the cattle came out here and they started kind of like running around and bouncing and everything, like they were excited about the new shelter. So I think they liked it. It did rain yesterday, like it ended up, they were all way out here. They were way down at that end. And a thunderstorm came and it just started pouring big heavy rain. And everybody ran across all the way to that shelter. And then they just huddled up under that shelter and stayed in there until the rain stopped. So it worked. You know, even though the rain was kind of coming in from this side because it was blowing kind of hard, there was still plenty of space under there for them to be able to stay out of the rain. And I think once I put some sides on it and stuff, it's definitely going to be even better for them. But I think as far as this video is concerned, I think this is going to wrap it up. And in the next video, Henry and the guys, they should be back and they should be starting on what used to be the wood shed. It's still going to be a wood shed, but it's also going to be an equipment shed. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the log splitter and all the firewood totes down on one end. And then I'm hoping to get all of like the tractors and the hay equipment and stuff also stored in there. We'll just have to wait and see how it works out. I know it's not going to be the biggest shed in the world, but I think it's really going to help me out having a little bit more roof space to store stuff under. But I think that's going to be it for today's video, guys. So hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.